We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next. Welcome back to the Daily Helpline. We're here with Michelle, who's looking for some tips and techniques on how to avoid going back to the fast life and the fast money. How hard is it not to go back?
It's not that hard. It's tempting. It's definitely in your face all the time when you're exposed to it.
One of the things just going forward that may help you is the way to help people is to be transparent and vulnerable about where you're needing help and where you are in your process. Usually it doesn't connect as well if it's, this happened to me, but I took a few courses on it in school, and so I know what I need to know now. It's all packaged up nicely, boxed in, and I'm all good. But I hope it doesn't happen to you. You see what, that's sympathy. And what we'd like to see is empathy. There's a difference. Empathy is, I've been there and I still struggle, or I've been there and this is what happened and it's been hell overcoming this thing. Sympathy is, I hate that you're there, but I'm over here. I hope you get better.
That's understandable, definitely. And I can relate to both.
Okay, so where are you today?
Today I am still trying to find a job, and I just moved out here, just moved into a new apartment, and so I'm trying to make ends meet, and so it's a temptation to make the easy money, the quick, easy money.
How close have you gotten?
It was too close for comfort, definitely.
So it's gotten scary real.
Yes.
And you've almost been pulled back in. We're not here to browbeat you into being open.
Yeah, no,
that's not what it's about. I mean, but I do see a lot of walls. And I think they probably are there and they've served a purpose. There's a reason why you've kind of walled up, but I see you pretty walled up. Like I don't think I could penetrate that if I tried. And that may have been how you learned to survive and block out the things that you saw. And if it were me, and I get that you didn't participate. Now, if you didn't have sexual trauma in your past, that might be where I'd come after you and say, what the hell were you thinking?
Exactly.
But I know you got over-sexualized, you got overstimulated way too early. And that does something to us when that happens. Sexual abuse survivors, it's very common for them to go back into and be hypersexual early. I think your trauma set the stage for what you experienced, from 14 on. And the thing I'm worried about is if you don't, the walls helped you then, they won't help you now. And so I think you've got to let somebody in order to not repeat the pattern. So, you said in the beginning, part of what I want to do is share my story so that others don't get hurt along the way. But part of what you're doing by sharing your message is trying to ensure and put some insurance in place so that you don't get hurt again. And it's a good, it can be a healthy distraction as long as you don't go too far with that and neglect yourself in the process. And so we want to try to save you from that in the beginning. I do love that you're looking at it because you got a story to tell and a story to share, and I think it can help a lot of people. But somebody told me this early on when I was wanting to get into the helping profession. I was so excited and fired up because a lot had happened to me, and I had rewritten my story, and I was in a place where I was ready to share it, probably share it way too fast. and I was like, all right, I want to accomplish everything right away. And somebody who'd been doing this for 30 years looked at me and they said, if you want to be good in the helping profession, get a PhD in yourself first. So get to know you. The people that have long-term sustainability and that are effective change agents in the helping profession are people who have done their own work. Because you can't take anybody where you haven't gone yourself. And it sounds like you've done some things to work on yourself and to treat yourself through that process, but continue doing that. Stay open, explore who you are, and go do this career. I think it's awesome. I think you've got a lot to share and a lot to learn, but don't get lost in the process.
All right. Thank you so much.
But if you really don't want to go back, you have to cut the cord.
Exactly.
You have to not have that trap door always hanging that you can fall back on. That means changing your numbers, giving up those old friends, changing addresses if that's what it takes. But you cannot hang out in the same places that you used to and not expect to be tempted by what you know in a clutch.
Okay.
I thank you so much for being
thank
here.
You for having
Take
me.
the time, go slow, do the work, and it'll
Will
do
do.
exactly what you
All
want it to
right.
do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be back with more right after this. We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.